Alright, yes, welcome back to another review. Here I have a new pad here. We have the Musashi Void V3. So before we get into this, I do want to say this pad was sent out to me for review, but that will not change my thoughts and opinions on this pad. I'll be completely honest in this video. So to start with, let's talk about the design. I think it's very eye-catching. It's probably the first thing you notice about the pad. When you're buying this pad, you're most likely buying it for this unique design. In a market full of anime pads, and we know what's on the market, but this stands out. This is different. It follows its own unique style with the black and white colorway as well. Looks very nice. And as someone who's like a fan of this and reads manga a lot, this looks very nice. The design overall is really well made and looks great. I think the artwork is like really stunning, and this will look great on any desk. So to begin talking about the overall quality, this pad is very nice. I do really like the square sizing. It is 50 by 50, and I'm always a fan of pads that are available in this size. I think the larger design and the square size makes this pad a very nice experience for me. So the stitching is great all around. It sits very nicely just below the surface, and I have no fraying issues at all. No issues going over it. The stitching is very well put together. The pad itself is quite thin, and you pair this with a soft rubber base, it creates quite the nice feeling. You can see here, I can dig into the pad a bit more and gain some extra control on some micros, but we'll talk a bit about that later when I talk about the actual surface itself. But the base solution is quite effective. It's grippy and stays to my desk during gameplay, so there's not a lot of issues here. As I said, it does use a rubber base, which is slightly outdated, maybe in the current market. We see a lot of pads use maybe more effective bases, more expensive bases. But with this square size, I think the base works well. And you can see here, it's not moving during my gameplay. I'm trying to push it, it's not moving. So let's begin talking about the actual surface itself and the experience I had when aiming with this pad. I would say it fits into a nice balanced category. Maybe slightly leaning towards control, but it's not a mud pad. So I've seen a few things about that, it's not that. It's actually very similar to the GSR SE R Rouge Edition and some other pad like this that fit into the balance control sort of category. This pad offers a very smooth and consistent glide across the surface that creates a nice balanced feeling here. You can see it feels very, very consistent and very balanced all around. The pad itself is quite smooth. You can maybe feel some more actual texture when you go across this vertical axis here, but overall very smooth, very nice consistent glide across the whole surface. And there is that control that can be felt. There's this little friction in small texture, as I mentioned, you can sort of feel, and this adds some nice stopping power. So at the end of flicks, you can stop precisely, land on target, then transition to wrist movement and smaller micro movements. And this helps create this balanced lean towards control pad, which is perfect. As I mentioned before earlier, you can get slightly more control when you dig in. You have the ability here to really slow down and dig into the pad for more heavy micros. And this is more notably when you're using dot skates, for example, which I am right now. I'm using the Westlab orange dots. I can really dig in and make the pad feel that little bit slower, and I can make more precise micro movements, say after a flick. So overall in game, I was quite pleased with my performance on this pad. It does suit the slower categories like clicking and more notably like linear clicking, but it does work well for everything as it is relatively balanced. So if you're someone just aiming in every category, you're a Kovacs player, this is fine. This is a great balanced pad. It's nothing too fast and it's nothing too slow. It sits nice in the middle. You can get a lot out of this surface. You can use your arm for initial flicks with this pad, and you can still transition smoothly into smaller wrist movements thanks to the stopping power and the friction that we mentioned. And this works nice as well for just gliding across the pad, doing reactive and smooth movements. This pad is really nice for that. So this is perfect for tac-fps in particular, where micro movements matter a lot. If you're someone that needs very precise movements, you don't want to be shaking around, you don't want something too fast, slippery, this is very good for you, perfect for Valorant, CS. I do also want to quickly mention the packaging. This pad came in a nice flat packed, no damaging, nothing. So overall, to summarise this pad, you're getting a really nice 50 by 50 balanced pad with a great design. a rubber base, great just below the surface stitching, and a pad that is great for all categories that are balanced and perfect for every game, but more purposely I would say tac-fps is where you're going to see the best of this pad. So thank you for watching, I do hope you enjoyed.